Welcome back to Sow, Grow and Cook. It's the end of April. We're going to have a look at the Polytunnel today, and I hope you've all been keeping well and safe. Let's start by looking at the flatleaf parsley. Now, I planted that last April when we first moved in, and I've used it a lot in cooking and in salads, and it's now going to seed. I think I'm going to try saving some of the seed. This year, during the lockdown, apparently there's been a real shortage of commercially available vegetable seeds, so it's a good skill to have. Following on, we've got some Egyptian walking onions, and they're doing their thing. They're producing little bulblets at the top, and then they'll fall over and take root in the ground and sprout up, and then the process will continue. So they're another very valuable crop to have that just goes on each year. And here's what happens when you don't clear up salad crops at the end of a season. They reseed themselves. And actually, I consider this a really nice bonus, and I've been using it a lot in salads early this year. So we've got purple mustard, we've got calendula, which of course is edible, and a great plant to attract pollinators. We've got some coriander, or cilantro as they call it in the States. And we've also got some rocket, or arugula as it's called elsewhere. So again, a beautiful little bonus, but I will clear them so I can make some space. Next to the self-seeded mustard and arugula, I've got some dill, some of it self-seeded, and trying to impersonate asparagus plants, because they look very similar, don't they? Except for the colours a little bit different. I'll have to take those out because I want the asparagus to grow and thrive. Oh look, there's some more self-seeded calendula. How funny. Next door to that are some violet coloured cauliflower. They're called Violetta di Sicilia, I think it is. Anyway, I got a packet of seeds for 10 pence from Wilko last year. Planted some outdoors, had a few leftover plants, and hopefully I will get an earlier crop in the polytunnel. We shall see. Here's some greens from a mixed packet of salad greens that I planted. It was called California Mix, but it doesn't look very mixed to me. It looks very much like one variety of something, which is lovely and peppery, but there's not too much variety in it. There is, looks like a bit of bok choy or something. That was the token mixed bit of seed. If anybody knows what any of this is, please mention in the comments below. To the left, I've got some baby leeks, which are just growing there for a short amount of time before I transplant them to the final position. Oh look, a self-seeded dill plant. How funny. And here's my dwarf French beans. I think they're a yellow variety. I grew them in little cardboard pots and just planted them straight in. There was no root disturbance. That powdery stuff is wood ash from our wood burning stove, and hopefully that's going to provide some nutrients for the plants. They seem to be doing well. I popped those in the ground. Well, they were little plants, but I popped the plants in the ground about 3 or 4 days ago, and they just seem happy as anything. So fingers crossed I'll get an early crop there. To the left of those are my polytunnel potatoes, which are shallots, and they're doing well. They're well ahead of the outdoor ones that I planted. And I've mulched them with some hay to retain the moisture, and they seem to be doing fine, and hopefully I'll get an early crop of those. Now, if Michelle, my online friend, is watching, she will see that I have planted up some Dakota Black popcorn. from the packet of seeds that she very kindly sent me from Baker Creek Seeds. I am beyond excited about planting these. The germination rate was fantastic, and I know that they're meant to be okay in cooler climates, but I'm taking no chances, so I'm putting them in the polytunnel so they're guaranteed to be warm and dry in there. Oh, there's some broad beans, some that I planted in January in pots and transplanted. They're doing really well. They're meant to be crimson flowered ones, but they're not. They've got white flowers. Look, here's the rest of the Dakota black popcorn, because I ran out of space because I had so many plants. I hope I get a really good crop. Fingers crossed. We shall see. Here's my Swiss chard plants. I've got some Ford Hook Giant, which I use a lot in cooking frittatas and spinach cheese pie. You can use the stems. And some ruby chard, which are just little babies right now, but they should get bigger, and I can use those little leaves in salads. I owe you all a video on making spinach cheese pie. I do apologize. I did say that that would be the next one that I posted, and that will be coming soon, I promise. Next door to the chard are some shallots that I planted. I just love anything in the onion family. I just find them all so versatile, and they just make food come alive. Oh, here we go. We're in the salad patch, and look, more dill. Now this purple stuff is called red oric. It's kind of a cousin to spinach, I think. It tastes a little bit like it. It comes up everywhere. It self-seeds. And I put it in salads when it's young. You can put it in flower arrangements when it's older. Here's my lettuce, which is some sort of green variety. I think the bigger ones are all year round is the name of the variety. They're kind of a butterhead variety, really good. I shall be planting other sorts as well. Those were planted in late autumn and are just heading up nicely now. There's my onion patch in the polytunnel. I've done plenty outdoors as well, but again, I'm hoping to get a slightly earlier crop in the polytunnel, and we'll just have to see how that goes. Here's a lonely lettuce waiting to be harvested and doing bizarre things like sprouting more lettuce out from the side of it. That's going to end up in my dinner plate tomorrow. I've planted some carrots, a carrot root fly resistant variety called Resistafly, funnily enough. And next to that, I've got some little tiny celeriac plants, and some celery plants. I'm not doing the red celery this year. I'm sticking with a green variety. I will have to remember to water these a lot. Celeriac and celery love their water, and will produce better if you give them plenty. Here is the asparagus patch. These were little plug plants. Again, I planted last September, and I've got a few older ones that I brought with me when we moved. And they were older, so I'm harvesting a few spears already this year. They're doing really well. I'm not taking too many. And again, I've mulched the area with old hay and straw to help retain moisture. Now, polytunnels are fantastic assets to have, but they're not the easiest thing because you have to maintain good ventilation, and you have to check for watering a lot more often than you would for outdoor grown veg. Having said that, if you're good at keeping an eye on things, they can provide you with an early crop and a later crop of many fruits and vegetables. So they're very well worth having if you've got the space.